Okay, week 1, fly tying, Streamside, Traverse City, 2026. Today we're doing a variation of the Sparkle Minnow. We're gonna tie this one lighter and sparser than most. I like to fish it over, shallow water, wood, that kind of thing. So I tend to tie them lighter. Again, I've got our bead on here. You can supplement any size you want to get the weight you want. I put a little bit of lead-free wire just to keep it in place. Got our thread on, so we'll get started here. We'll move our thread all the way to the back of the shank here, just to where the bend starts. And we're gonna do a 2-tone tail. You can do a single color, you can do 3 colors, up to you. We're kind of doing a copper and yellow version. So my first color, belly color, is going to be yellow, and I like the tail on these about 2 hook shanks in length roughly. So there's 1, 2, move that back, and we'll get this, we'll capture it in here. And then I like to get my second color on there first, but I'm gonna forego that. I'm gonna lift this back, move my thread up, capture it again just to make sure it won't go anywhere. Then I can cut this off. And this just helps get kind of a uniform body instead of a bump back here if you cut it off right there. Our next color is going to be tan. This is a blood quill, so instead of tying in with the stem, I'm going to come down here and pull some of that off just to avoid tying in the stems. So we'll grab and we'll rip some of that off of the stem. Try to get about the same amount as the yellow. And we're going to place that right on top, same length. Want those nice and even. Tie that back. Again, lift up, move thread forward, fold this down. Not quite as easy without the stem on there, but get a couple wraps. Come in with our scissors. That nice and close, tie that down, and again we're going to move back to the start of the bend of the hook, and now we're going to put in just a little bit of Krystal Flash, 2 pieces, nothing crazy. I like just a little bit of flash out the back. I'm using Krystal, I forget what the original was, probably Krystal Flash. And I'm just going to tie two strands on my side, wrap up a little bit, fold it back on itself down the other side. I'm going to come in with my scissors here and cut it at about the length of the marabou there. Now we're going to do the easy way. We're going to use brushes. These are Sparkle Minnow brushes from MFC. You get them quite a few in a bag, so you can tie a bunch of these, all sorts of different colors. The original was done with dubbing loops, a little more creative way you can make all sorts of cool color combos that way, but we're gonna go easy today. So first one, yellow for the belly. You just need a little short piece, and if you can, obviously easier to rotate your vise. We want to get this right on the bottom. So I'm going to capture that, make sure it's straight, tie this in. Now you do need to be careful with these brushes. With a metal core, they will cut your thread if you're not careful. Now we're going to take our body color, which we're going to use copper. Do the same thing, but I'm going to tie it on the top or on my side here. Get some good tight wraps. Again, try to loosen your tension as you're going over the cut ends. And we're just going to move our thread forward, clean this up just a little bit, and leave our thread right up at the bead. And then we'll take our brush and we'll start wrapping forward. Now, again, I like sparser. I'm usually fishing skinnier water around here, and there's lots of wood, so I don't want it to sink too fast. So instead of wrapping this in touching wraps and getting a really full body, I'm going to spread these out, and I'm going to make a sparser body. So you'll see I'll pick kind of an angle, and I'll do open wraps to the front up to the bead here. Now every time I wrap this, I'm pulling all these fibers back to try and not capture any of them on themselves. So you're going to get, depending again on hook size, we're using a 4 today. So it's on the smaller side. I've seen these tied pretty big or articulated. So I'm just going to wrap this again all the way up to the front by our bead. This last wrap should go right up against the bead or the cone. I'm just going to use all of this. I like to get one full wrap right at the cone just to make sure it's nice and full. And then I'm going to take, and because of this wire you can kind of let it sit, but you're still holding it, but I'm going to separate and try to get down just to the wire here. I'm going to wrap over top, capture it a couple times, fold it back, go a couple in front, again go over the top of it again. And now I have dedicated an old pair of scissors to cut these dubbing brushes. Do not do this with your regular fly tying scissors. It will destroy them. So take an old pair and cut that. Now you're going to want to push this back. There's a little tag in there that will cut your thread if you're not careful. So you want to just tie over the top of that, tie it back. And now you can take your fingers and kind of fluff this out. If you have a bodkin or a brush, that works too. We're just going to pick out any trapped fibers. We're almost done. Again, the luxuries of a rotary vise, you can see every side. Now for the belly, again, we're using just a little piece of yellow Sparkle Minnow brush. You could use rabbit, you could use another kind of synthetic across the bottom. It's really up to you, but this is the easiest way. And we're just going to part our materials to the side so that we can pull our belly color forward like so. Now we're going to want to preen these fibers backwards. We want a fairly full belly here. I'm just going to pinch those down. Try not to stab yourself on the hook point because it is right between your fingers. Hold that. See how when I pull down behind the bead or the cone, this wire pops up. Just helps you know that you've got it. Now I like, again, to fold it backwards. Put a couple wraps in front of it. Ooh, break your thread. Caught something sharp there. But again, thankfully it's a wire core, so it shouldn't go anywhere. Just try to save this here. There we go. I'm just going to restart my thread right behind the bead. Get some tension on there. I'm going to go back over this a few times. Be more careful. And now I'm going to whip finish. Before I do that, I'm going to cut this. Again, bad scissors, old scissors. Cut that off. Push that core back so that we're not going to cut our thread again. Might as well cut my thread off there. And then I'm going to look and see, do I want to add more? You can always add a little bit more copper here if you don't like that kind of negative space. I'm going to take a little bit of the leftover of this. I'm just going to pull some off. Add it just over the middle here, just to make it a little cleaner looking. Don't have to by any means. It's just something that I kind of like to do. And now we're going to whip finish. There's one. Do two. You can always add head cement or super glue, UV resin, whatever you prefer. And cut that guy off. We're going to take our bodkin, just kind of fluff this guy up. And then get it back like it's in the water. And there we go. That is what I'm going to call the lightweight or skinny water Sparkle Minnow. Again, smaller bead than what you'll find in most shops. It's just a little play that works well around here with our skinny water, and lots of wood in there too. So, all right.